afternoon, happy crafters. How are you all? Thank you for joining me live in my studio. It's the same opening line as always. It's just one big thank you to say thank you. If you are watching over on YouTube, don't forget to click the subscribe button, and if you're watching on Facebook, don't forget to pop a comment on anything we've posted. This way we can see if one, you've enjoyed the show, and two, it also puts you in with a chance to win one of the studio makes. We did launch our Christmas range last week on Create and Craft, and it was fabulous. Did you manage to get what you wanted? If you had your eye on one thing, did you get it? I hope so. So those products are being sent out as we speak and getting sorted for you now, so they should be with you very, very soon. I'm so excited for you all to get them in your hand and actually play with them. Today's studio, we are going to use those products, and as always, I'm going to show you some alternative ways to get the most out of the products that you've purchased. Remember though that on the back of the packaging it has the lovely QR code, and that takes you to any demonstrations that I've made using the products within that launch. Okay, so you're never going to be lost. There is about 7 videos on there. There are a few already on YouTube also for you to check out. If you do like any of the products I'm going to use in studio today, obviously just pop FBL into the search engine over on our website, and all the products that I'm going to use probably will be on there. If you get on there and you can't find what you're looking for, just be patient. The products are still being loaded on. There's so much of them. It's just taking some time to get through. So please be patient. As soon as they're all on, you will see a whole host of them, but they are being placed on as we're actually live now. So try and be a little bit patient and it will be appreciated. So in studio today, I was asked by a lovely lady, can you show me how I did the 3D snowflake over on Create and Craft? Yes, I can do that for you now. Obviously on TV we don't get much time, so I had to go through it quite quickly, but obviously here I can show you in more depth how to get a great looking tag, card, whatever you want really, however you want to use it. So that is going to be one of my demonstrations. On the second demonstration we will make a nice Christmas card, a little bit of an alternative. So I'll show you the products that we're going to use, and it's these 2 lovely products today. Now over on Create and Craft I did try and show you lots of products. I tried to get through so much, but it's difficult. It really is difficult, and you know, 3-minute demos sometimes is just not enough. So we'll take some time today and show you these lovely products. So we're going to use the die snowflake, and we're going to use a 3D element on this one and try and show you how you can create maybe some home decor elements or maybe a tag. And then we're going to use some of the elements from this one to create a lovely Christmas card using the geoframe rectangle that we found was the most popular. So we're going to use it today in studio. If you have any questions, please don't be scared to ask. Let us know what you're all up to. We're going to be here for over half an hour at least, so grab yourself a cup of tea, put your feet up and just enjoy the show. And hopefully you will pick up something you absolutely love, or something that's inspired you to maybe go and check your stash out and see if you've got something that's similar so you can create the same look. If you haven't got the stuff that we had live in the show, or you budget permitting, you can't afford the products, that's absolutely fine. Please don't switch off. Please find something in your stash. There is a whole host of products on the market. You will have something, I'm certain of it. And if you do make some nice makes, don't forget to post them over on our Eureka fan page so everybody else can see what you're being up to. So let's crack on then. So I'm going to use the lovely snowflake. So I'm just going to show you what it consists of. So we have the paper piecing element, which stays within the card. So if you die cut this, it stays within the card, and that gives you this look here. So it stays within your card. If you use the outline on there, it cuts it out for you. And if you have this element, it creates a mat and layer. So we're just going to leave the mat and layer to one side for now, and we're just going to cut the paper piecing element of it. I've just got some gold glitter card here. So I'm just going to place this face down into my die cutting machine. Now it's quite a detailed die, so you might have to run it through twice, see how it goes. I'm also popping the outline on there as well. Make sure though, if you are using both dies together, which I am going to do now, that you tape it down, because you do not want a die to move on top of another one, because it will just cut into the die and completely ruin it. So I'm popping my outline on there like so. When it's in place, I'm just going to hold it in place with these little bits of tape. and then we'll run it through our die cutting machine. Now I'm using the Cut and Boss, which is an A4 die cutting machine, but these dies actually go through your Snap, your A5 ones as well, just. So if you have got a Snap, don't worry, you've still got the facility to use these lovely dies. Now I've popped it to the left hand side of my plate because I find that on these on the Cut and Boss it cuts better if it's on the left or on the right. You guys will probably know this already at home. But what I am going to do is when I've run it through the once, I'm going to turn my plates around. I'll just grab it and show you. So this is straight out of the machine. I'm going to turn my plates around and I'm just going to run it back through. So it's absolutely certain it's going to cut it for me. And then we'll poke out the elements. I have done a lot of the work ahead of time because it's pretty boring watching me poke out bits. But I just wanted to show you how this sort of like 3D element comes together. So you'll be able to see from the back side, there we go, look, you can see how lovely that's cut. So I'm just going to remove that card from there. Now I'm using the lovely Gossip glitter card for this one. If you've got glitter card, it looks stunning. And if you've got the patience to obviously pop it out, then go ahead and do it because the results are amazing. So you can see there. So if you wanted to do a card and leave all the bits in, you could do that. It'd look fabulous. Also, if you do pop the bits out, like so, if you do pop all the bits out, you could also use it as a stencil. So just bear that in mind. So I'm not going to pop all the bits out. I already have one done. I've already gone ahead and done a few of these before air. So I just continue to pop all the bits out. If you have one of these lovely tools, it's always a good idea to give it a good scratch. Just loosens them all from the actual die cut, makes it a little bit easier to pop them out if you have them. There we go. So I'm just going to set this aside because I've already got one cut. So also in that collection, you also get your outline die, which is this one I was referring to. So ahead of time, I've already gone ahead and cut the outline look in some like, I think this is the Morganite glitter card. And this is the elements when they are all popped out, and this is in gold. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick this straight onto the matte and layer. The glue that I find works really, really well and is fast grab is the book binding pin flare glue. So if you have this glue, it really does work, but I would suggest maybe experimenting with what you have at home and seeing what works, because our glue, as much as it sticks, it's very good glue, it takes a while to grab, so you are having to like either put something on top of it to weight it down until it grabs. So all different glues do different things, so experiment with your glues and see what works best for you. This is the one that works best absolutely for me, so you might want to just try that. So I'm just popping some glue in some of the bigger areas, spotting it around. Now a fine nozzle tip one would probably help as well. So I'm just going to stick this straight onto here, and it leaves this beautiful border around. When you're happy you've got it in place, just give it a good old push down. You end up with this beautiful like large snowflake. These are 5.5 inch, these ones. So if you've got a colour theme at home, maybe teal and silver for Christmas, you can cut it out in the theme of your Christmas, and then you're good to go for home decor and things like that. So to create the 3D embellishment, now you probably don't know what I'm talking about, it's this one here. So can you see how you get this embellishment? This is done with the star die, which I will just show you that die just in case you actually missed the show. So the star die is a paper piece die also, and it does exactly the same as what this snowflake one is going to do. So this is this star one. So you get your outline, your paper piece, and then the element that cuts it out, and that's what's created this one. So you can see it's got, so I've stuck this onto a tag, but you could stick them back to back, put a bit of ribbon in the top, and you've got an instant Christmas embellishment for a tree or something. So that's stuck nicely, so we'll just set that aside. So to create that embellishment, you need a scoreboard. I'm just going to be using my Hunky Dory one today. And obviously you can score it straight down the centre here. Turn it on an angle, score it straight down the centre here. It is entirely up to preference. There's no right or wrong way. So I'm just going to pop it on my scoreboard here, making sure that the line there is matched up with this line here. And then I'm just going to gently pop a score line down the centre like so. Don't want to press too hard because this is only 170 GSM and it might tear. Then I'm just going to encourage it to fold in half with my nail, like so. And then when I've got it folded over and in place, I'm just going to use my tool just to encourage it to go. And you get this like lovely embellishment. Okay. Give it a good old push down. Oh. Then, so you can cut for this one, there's 1, 2, 3, there's 4 on that one, but if you did 5 or 6 you would have a really full snowflake, so that's just food for thought on that one. So ahead of time I have all of these here, look, so I've got 4 here, and to create that dimensional there on the front of that tag, this is how you adhere them together. So you just grab the first one and you just pop some glue on the side, and what you do is you grab your second one and you stick it together side by side. Make sure you get them lined up the best you can. Push them together. And then you sort of like end up with this sort of embellishment where you've got just 2 there. A bit boring at the moment with just 2, but again it would make a great card on the front of a card if you wanted to, and the great thing about it is it folds flat, so you can fold it flat for an envelope. So there we have 2. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it like that, and then I'm going to glue this side. I'm going to stick the next one on. Oops. Give it a chance to stick. Just give that a rub, get rid of that. So you can see your embellishments already coming together with this beautiful sparkles on there. And then the last one, it's the same concept. If you fold the whole thing flat like so. And the one that we've just done, stick side by side. Give it a chance to stick. And there you can see how you're getting your embellishments come together like so. See, if you put them back side to back side, popped a ribbon in the centre, you've got an instant Christmas decorate. I mean, it's a big one, 5.5, but you know, you could really go to town with this. It's just stunning. So as you can see there, I've got some gems on the varying layers of there, so I just need to add some gems onto this layer so it all fits nicely. So all I did was I just picked some points on the shape. Now on the snowflake one, you have got a lot more points, so you've got a lot more scope to add sparkles if you want to add sparkle. I haven't gone to town with this one, but like I say, it's your project. You can do absolutely what you please to make it in keeping with whatever you're making. Pop up there. So you can see there how fabulous that looks. So let's get this onto our tag. Now this tag, if you saw that on a gift, you really wouldn't be bothered what's inside the gift, in my opinion. But this is the same, as you can see, same idea with the paper piece, but two completely different looking cards. So I have this tag base here, just cut it myself, put some patterned Christmassy paper, and then just did a little bit of dimension with an extra layer like I did here with this one. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick this one flat, like I did with the star one. So just give it a second to grab on there. So if you can imagine, I think that's 4, 1, 2, that's 4 also. But if you did 6 and 7, just think of the, you know, how gorgeous and glamorous it would look with all those beautiful layers in there. And particularly if you did them in colour waves, like a bright colour right to a light colour all the way around, it would look really, really lovely. So if you did manage to get this die, well done. And now you know. You can create something fabulous, something quite unique really for your Christmas cards, tags, baubles. So I've just got this lovely piece of gold twine. I'm just going to pop this up here, and I'll get my head out of the way, pop the legs of the twine around. Like so, and there you have yet another fabulous, it's big, I mean that is 5.5, that's probably about 7 inch, but you don't have to do them this big obviously, but you know, if you are going to go big, let's do it in style, hey? So two completely different looks, but absolutely fabulous. I hope you like that idea, and I hope this has helped the lovely lady who asked me the question about how did it get put together. Obviously, if you're still stuck and still asking some questions, you know, you can always message us over on the lovely Eureka page. So I'm just going to set that aside, and we're going to move on to our next demonstration. So for this one, for our next demonstration, we're going to use the rectangle stamp, and we're going to use the one that I showed you earlier, the one with the lovely spices. This is one of my favourites, and I really didn't get an opportunity to show you properly how fabulous this one is. So I'm just going to grab my Eureka. I've just got a piece of white cardstock in here. I'm just going to show you how fabulous it stamps. I've done a lot of the work ahead of time. So let's go ahead and get this stamped out. So I have the cinnamon sticks, the fruit and the wreath, just to show you how lovely it is. Now, because I am going to be colouring, I'm stamping in a waterproof ink pad. This is the one that I use. These are available on the website, but you might already have this in your stash. Give it a good old push down. And just missed a little bit there, so we'll add that detail in, do it one more time. There we go, stamped beautifully. So you can get the idea of how you might want to use these. So let's just take this out of here for now. Just set this aside. So to colour these, what I did was I used our Gossip glitter pens, and I used the orangey, the like suede colour, and the clear. And all I did, I will just do one to save time. But all I did was I covered the whole, just get it going. I just covered the whole of the orange in the orange colour, so took it right to the edge. No fancy colouring at this point. Like so. And then just to give it some dimension, I just added a little bit of this like suede brown colour, so it looked as if it were a bit like autumnal rather than bright orange. Just give it a squeeze, get it to come through, there we go. And I did exactly the same with the cinnamon sticks. I started out with them as a bright orange. Like so, and then to try and tone them down slightly, I used this lovely browny colour, and this made it look more realistic. Like so. And then obviously as it dries you can layer build with these, you can make them darker. You can see now how that's gone darker already. So you can layer build. So once it's dry, if you wanted it to be a bit darker, go back over it and it will be darker. So to make it in keeping with the Christmas theme, I then used a little bit of glitter glue. And all I did was I dropped some glitter glue on top. I don't know if you can see that, but I will hold it up in a second. And then I went around the orange all the way around, in between the gaps. This gave it this sparkly finish, there we go, you see that? So it just gave it that lift to stop it from being a little flat. And then when it's dried, it looks a little bit like this, can we see there? There you see the sparkle, there we go. It looks really, really lovely, and it's something completely different to what you will probably see anywhere else. So I'm just going to grab a piece of white cardstock now, and I'm just going to show you how fabulous these frames, the geometric frames, are going to work. One, all year round, but two, are absolutely amazing for this Christmas range. Now, we all know geometric frames are not Christmas. I have made them Christmas, but because of that reason, we all know that we can use them whenever. Great for masculine cards, great for any cards, not just for Christmas, should we say. So just make sure my hands are clean before I touch the card. So I'm just going to pop this in here, and I'm just going to create a frame. And this is going to be my layering element to create my card. So I'll just grab the stamp for that one, which is this one. So you can see the packaging is huge. The stamp on the front is true to size, so no more confusion. You know how big that stamp is because you can see it, and you'll know if it's going to work with your projects or not. Then when you turn it over, you get the lovely QR code, which will take you to all the tutorials that we've done here at Stamps by Me. I'm just going to place that face down on that cardstock. Now the centre of this stamp is still in place. The reason we've left the centre of the stamp still in place is so you can't stretch it. So if that wasn't in there and you went to stamp it and you stretched it off its carrier sheet, you would not end up with a rectangle. You'd probably end up with something that looked not straight lined, and it's obviously a geometric frame, which means straight lines. So we've left the centre in there for you, so you know you're going to stamp a rectangle every single time. So I'm just popping anti-static bag on here because I am going to heat emboss this frame. They look beautiful heat embossed. So I'm just using a Versamark. These are also available on the website, but you probably already have these. So it's just a sticky ink pad, and then we can add some sparkly embossing powder to bring this frame to life. Yep, that's stamped fine. I'll just grab some embossing powder. Which one have I got? We'll go for this one. It's the one I have to hand. you see, because we used our anti-static bag, you get this lovely, clean, no mess frame. There we go. So let's get this heat set. I'm going to get my gun hot before I heat emboss the image. And as soon as the powder starts to change, I'm just going to move the gun. And once it's all changed colour, that means it's ready and it will not, it's baked, it's finished. So you know that none of that powder is going to come off there. You see that there? So you could put family pictures in the centre of these. You could use mixed media and do several different coloured windows. There is so much you can do with these. So do try and think outside the box when you are using these, because there is so much you can do with them. If you haven't seen the Eureka fan page, you need to go on there, simply because our design team have been posting makes on there since the live show, and there's been such a variation of styles. They're all different, they're all unique, and there is some absolute fabulous makes. So I would say if you're not on there, you are missing out. So scoreboard, trusted scoreboard is back out. And as you can see, I've got a black top folding note card, a piece of gold, and then another piece of black. But this looks bland, and I don't have a embossing folder that's Christmasified. So I'm just going to create a bit of dimension on this card by myself. So thinking outside the box. So I'm just going to create a bit of dimension. So I'm just popping the point in one of the lines in my scoreboard, and I'm just making sure it lines up with the other point of my card here. Can you see? So I know that that line is matching this point on my card. So I know my lines are going to be straight. So I'm going to start at the centre, and I'm just going to score down that line. Just make sure I'm absolutely straight, like so. And then I'm just going to go few lines down and do another line. Then I'm just going to go a few lines down. I'm not overly bothered if they're not the same width, it's just dimension. And a few more lines down, right to the corner. And then let's twist it round, pop that one up there like that, and then we'll go for some more down here. Now, if you're a little bit OCD with your crafting and have to have perfect size spaces, mark it out before you pop it in your scoreboard. And then what you end up is this, like, can you see there? It's not a flat piece of black card anymore, it's got dimension in there. Most of it is going to be hidden, but I just felt it was going to get lost on my work if I didn't put something on there. So let's get this card constructed. So this one that we went and heat embossed ahead of time, I cut out with the coordinating die, and I matte and layered it onto some black cardstock so it matches my card, and then some gold. So we have this like matte and layer element going on. So let's get a sentiment in the centre of here. Now within that rectangular stamp set that you get, you have this beautiful one, which lends itself beautifully across there. So rather than portrait, we're going to go landscape on this card, like so. So I'm just going to grab the Eureka, and we will go pop the sentiment in the centre of here. Just hold my artwork in place. And we're just going to go for this one in black. So I'm just going to pop it in the centre. Make sure it's straight. And then we'll use our black ink pad again when she finds it. It'll be right in front of me, it's just that there's so much on my desk I can't see it. There we go. And we will stamp this out. And again, all of the sentiments lend themselves so well to heat embossing, but I am mindful that that's all I seem to do is heat emboss. So I do sometimes try and chop and change, but the idea of the studio is to inspire you. I know when you try it at home, you will change the colours, you will change what you use, whether it be heat embossing, ink, stencils, whatever you use. It's just to inspire you, and if I've inspired you to go and actually dig through your stash or get the products out and play, then the studio's working. So there we go. You can see that stamped beautifully there, and it's a beautiful sentiment. And also the other ones in the set work within the frame as well, and the ones that come within the other collections, the one within the heart, they all fit in some fashion within each other, if that makes sense. They all work together. So there we go. So let's get this card constructed then. So I have my black top folding note card here, and we're going to stick this piece of glitter card down first. So the one that I did last time was in white. I don't think I've showed it. I will show you it. And then this one's more black and gold, so it's down to which is your favourite really. Please do let me know which is your favourite. I always like to know what people have loved. So I've popped that down like so. Give it time to grab. And then where we use the score lines, you can just see them on there. I can probably see them better than you can at home. And this one's going to stick flat too. I don't know if you can see that dimension. There we go, you can just see it there, look. So as we are going landscape, I have turned it landscape, there we go. And then this element here, can we see here? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop some pads behind there, bring this one to life. I have also updated my Pinterest board today and Instagram, so all of the makes that Create and Craft did photograph and pop on their website have now been popped onto our Pinterest page. So if you're wanting a little bit more inspiration or some more ideas, you can always pop on there and go pin them to your own board. That way they're never going to go away, and you can always revisit it should you need to. So I'm just going to pad this one in the centre here. So I've got a lovely card coming on already. And then the ones that were stamped out earlier, and I showed you how I coloured, I've got them here. So I've got variation in elements here, so I've got a bit of a reef going on. These are all from the same set, so if you only managed to buy one set and it was this one, you know you can create this card. Then we have our lovely cinnamon sticks. So I always like to decide where things go before I stick them flat, so I always position first. What do we think about that? I think that's going to be okay, is it? Yeah, we'll go for that. So I'm going to just stick this one flat. Now, because of the embellishments within that set, you could really go to town, heat emboss them onto acetate, fill in the gaps behind, make it as big, as beautiful as you wanted to. And we'll go flat with this one. And Then we will pad the next one, just getting a smaller pad. In fact, we'll stick this one flat with the cinnamon sticks. Then we'll pop a pad behind this one. So just by adding that little bit of sparkle on there, see that there? It just gives your card an instant lift. Let's see where we're going to go with it. Let's go there. Hold it all in place so you can just see cinnamon sticks under there. So let's just pop some embellishments on there just to bring it to life a little bit more. And these are in varying sizes, and I love the gems that have the various sizes. So I'm just popping them round. I'm doing them in threes. And then when you're absolutely happy you've got everything in position, you're good to go really. So just make sure. So that is a black one with top folding. Well, I can't say top folding because it's that way, but you could have done it that way if you wanted to. But the reason I've done it this way is because I have this one, look, which is a top folding and is in white. So you can see there, Dear Santa, I really did try. Same concept. So you've got the wreath on the left, the build up on the right. This is a cascade, clean and simple, so very white but still sparkly. And then the landscape one is black. Can we see there how different? Exactly the same concept but different colour waves, landscape and portrait. So that's those two. And then just going back to the lovely tags, again, two totally different colour waves, two totally different style of dies, but look at that. Absolutely amazing. So in today's studio we have covered quite a lot really. So I hope we've done something that's actually inspired you to maybe get your stash out. If you are waiting for your products, they will be with you pretty any day soon. So I will see you all Wednesday at 4 o'clock. Please keep your eyes peeled though. We'll be launching something new, hopefully this week or early next week. And we will be back on TV hopefully in about 10-12 days. So I hope you're all well. Stay safe, stay cosy, whatever you're doing. I'll get these posted on Facebook now so you can pop a comment on, and I will see you all later. Take care everyone. Bye.